Not good enough. No. That's a little better. It's been so long since someone approached you with genuine sincerity, with no agenda, with no vicarious motive. With no show. You know, when someone's intelligence or wisdom or a show, it's like something that they wear. It's like just things that they say. It's like book wisdom, you know, quoting from books. Okay, do you even know what that means? When someone sits in front of you and says the things, but it's like you don't really feel them saying it. If they have to feel it themselves. They're not even lying. They're just not here, not present. Everyone is saying things they don't know what actually mean in a way that they saw on television. And it feels so empty. Too many cards. But I will take the ones who dropped up. Two of Swords in the reverse and the Death card in the reverse. It just feels like constantly cycling back to what they said most recently on the news, or what they said most recently on social media, or what they said most recently in your school or at your job, and then it gets repeated and repeated and repeated by your cycles and your circles. And you're like, where am I? What is this? What are they talking about? And in the middle of this, there's the Knight of Pentacles and the Hierophant, something so true, so slow, that really measures their words. It's like a beacon of light in the middle of vast, dark emptiness. And you're not sure, is this real or is this a Fata Morgana? Because this time it feels real, right? This time your body responds. You feel present because you pick up on them being present, saying things from their heart. It's like the words are not an empty shell. You know, like when you call any service provider and you get a robot and they do a great job, right? They understand what you're trying to say by the most parts. They direct you to the right place. You can have an entire thing happen just by talking to this machine. But honestly, every time I finish a conversation with one of those, I feel a little dead inside. Because I pick up on where we're going as a society, as humanity, and it's so terrifying to me. Now you can say, oh, Morgane, you're being sarcastic, or you're being negative, or you're being whatever. But if you're not feeling it, that metal, cold-like coldness to things right now, then you're also not here. Then you're also surface level, because everything is pretty. Everything is so pretty, right? Our culture, our fashion, our art, everything is people, everyone and everything is so beautiful. But then they open their mouth and they say these intelligent things that they just heard on the news last night or read in the paper the other week or whatever, and you know it's a repetition, you know they didn't think it. You know it's not their thought. And if you don't know it's not their thought, then you don't know that the words you're saying are not your thoughts. Ever had a conversation online with someone you don't know and they're just literally like quoting propaganda? And they're very passionate about their quotes of propaganda. Like, there's no truth there. There's no essence. And it's like, they don't know. So who of us actually does? Those of you that feel what I'm saying right now, that are a little bit scared. If you're completely optimistic and positive right now, you're not here. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, there's this plastic between you and what is happening. Because what is happening is hiding underneath plastic. Beautiful, beautiful plastic. And then again, my eyes keep being guided to this beam of light. This person, this thing, this knowledge, this place, this book, whatever this is. I'm hoping it's a person for you. Where you're picking up your head from your phone and you're seeing them and you're hearing them and you're feeling something that you haven't felt in a long time. Maybe the last time you felt it was when you were in kindergarten or playing in the sandbox. A complete and utter being present in the moment, engulfed in something. People don't watch shows anymore. They go and watch shows, but they're on their phone. They're looking at it through a story, right? Through a lens. There's that screen. You see the molecules through the pixels. The molecules are already an illusion in and of themselves. I'm sorry. When we look at something, it's just the light bouncing off of them into our eyes, right? So everything is already an illusion, great. But when you see that through pixels, that's when you don't have a way back. That's when we're so deep and away from the surface where we can't reach up to the air or even see the light, the sun, so it will tell us to swim up. We're in vertigo. Vertigo. We don't know that up is down and down is up. This is society right now. Society is in complete vertigo. I'm looking around me. I'm talking to people. I'm making conversations, and if small talk used to upset me, now I can't even hold it in. I'm like, because everything is now small talk. It's just an advanced small talk, an intellectual small talk, where it's quote, 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 but no one puts quoting. No one says that they're quoting who they're quoting. Because they don't even notice that it's not their original thought. They generally think it's their original thought. Because it's so fast-paced, right? Pixel after pixel after pixel, screen after screen after screen, story after story, post after post. And we read it somewhere yesterday, but we forgot, and now it's there. And we say it, we blur it out, and it's like, and then we feel so special. I see it on someone, when they say something that they just read somewhere, but they forgot. Because they went through so many pixels since. And I try to look them in the eye and try to dive into their psyche and see their original thought, and then I stop because I can't, because I didn't get permission. Because it's something that we are expected to just show. No one is showing it anymore. And once again, I keep circling to that conversation, and then my eyes look down at this. Who is this for you? What is this for you? Is it an aspect of yourself that you need to recall? The South Node in Scorpio for everyone. I'm talking to Ophiuchus, Secret 13. The South Node in Scorpio is going to traumatize us. There's going to be some shakeup. And it's going to feel terrible. But I think it's God trying to save us. I'm not kidding. because we've been buried ourselves so deep in layers of plastic. We are in such vertigo, we don't even recognize light or truth or what it is that is our actual original thought and what isn't, that we need a major shakeup. And if you recognize this virtue and you hop on that lifeboat, you won't be circling down the drain, the ocean, tornado, spiral. What's the better word? Like in the Bermuda, I'm imagining the Bermuda Triangle, where the ocean just sucks us down, right? It's like the ocean's black hole. So this here, there's now a lifeboat that will help you go around it and not have to go through this Bermuda Triangle, ocean black hole thing, deep, deep, deep down in order for you to eventually come out at the other end of it. But I do see most people in society, but I think every single person hearing this right now, there's some sort of a lifeboat in your life. A light tower. Don't ignore it. Don't skip it. Don't skip it. Don't postpone it. Don't set a reminder for some time. Now. There are very, very few individuals right now in the world that are operating to save it. And there are several individuals right now in the world that are operating to control it. It's very hard to differentiate between the two. Because communism always disguised itself as oneness consciousness, right? If you want me to make a video about that, let me know in the comments. I'll make a 13th element. So if you are not broken out of the plastic image, it's going to be straight to the Bermuda Triangle. As in a vertigo. It's just, and if you're on the lifeboat, if you catch and it's going to be something different to every single one of you, a very authentic, sincere person, or a relationship that can really pick you up from that. Something to learn, a place to go to, a dream fulfillment, the crazy thing that you've been wanting to do for decades but you haven't, and the thought of it makes you so excited and happy, but you keep not. All these things, if they present themselves to you, even if it seems small, even if it seems modest, but that presents itself to you, please grab it. Okay? You are offered truth. Don't say no. This will get worse. And if you catch that boat, your consciousness will expand and break out of the mechanism and will easily be able to recognize this from that, those who operate to save the world and those who operate to take over it, and then you'll know where to go, which organizations to belong to and which to stay away from, right? What to sign, what not to sign. Eight of Pentacles in the reverse. Some of you are in a rat race, working very diligently, constantly, for a promise of it being worth the while, but there's no actual joy or results in the moment. You know, there's that known phrase of everyone is working so hard so their children will be happy. I can't wait to meet that child that is so, so happy. Because, you know, they grow up into being adults that sacrifice themselves for it. So the children will be happy, and then those children will grow up, become adults that sacrifice themselves for it. Like, whoever is now happy. So I'm picking up on this rat race. This AI race. King of Swords. It's time for the wisdom of old to return, to be heard, on blast. It's time for the Knights of the Round Table, for their archetype to return, where people have honor and words matter and promises matter and truth matter, and there's magic right alongside science. There were days like that. And some of you will say, well, we're there. There's so much spirituality and there's so much magic, and look at you on YouTube. Do you know how many times I was... And on different social media, they silence certain hashtags that have to do with this world. And the stores, the spiritual shops. You know, I walk in the crystal aisle, for example, and I look at the little descriptions. You know, they have those notes that describe the meaning of the stone, and it's always bullshit. Repetitive bullshit. This stone is great for your intuition and for protection and for love. Like every stone is great for intuition, protection, and love. In different words. Every stone. It's the plastic of spirituality. It's like they don't even bother anymore to try to actually research or learn the true meaning of the crystal. And that gives such a bad reputation to occult systems, the spiritual schools of thought, to magical tools, because it seems also dumb. So even if someone is drawn to that world, they'll go into a store and they're smart, they're intelligent, they'll read about every stone, the same freaking thing. They're like, okay, this is nonsense. You're right, this is nonsense, but it's not the real thing. The real thing is far from nonsense. The real thing is deep, it's meaningful, it's real. But who would actually buy a book that explains the crystals? No, they'll take those little notes. Or if they will get the book about the crystals, it's like 3 lines about each crystal. Like, really? That's the book you chose out of all the books? You have books with 5 pages about each crystal, and that's the book you chose? Same goes to any divination. Crystals are not divination, but you know what I mean. People today buy these little itty-bitty books, or even write them. Why? If you're a Taochi, why would you write such an embarrassing book? Because it sells? Yeah, you know it sells, because people are lazy and plasticky and AI-like. why would you encourage that? So they buy these books and they read these books. Third a page about every tarot card, whatever, and they open a channel, or now they're a tarot reader, and then someone will go to a reading with them, and it's embarrassing. And someone watching me right now who's a tarochi, who doesn't know tarot because you didn't bother on actually studying, is going to argue and say, it's an intuitive tool. No, it's not. Everything is an intuitive tool, but it's first and foremost a craft with knowledge. It's a dictionary. And then you connect the dots and create a narrative and have them flow together. And then your intuition can grow and prosper and be incorporated into that craft. But you got to know the freaking craft. You can't do something completely different that you invented and call tarot or straw or whatever. You invented something, you created something, great. Give it a name, and good luck with that. Genuinely, seriously. Would support you. But don't ride the credit of an existing craft and completely change it. Or mess with its reputation. That's theft. Doing something that you're doing and then giving it a name that exists because it's popular and known and loved, but it's not really that thing. It's fraudulent and it's theft. Create an oracle deck of your own, with your own interpretation. Read an empty tarot deck. Do whatever you want. Do whatever. I'm not being sarcastic. Do whatever you want. Be free. Create. But give it a name. Don't call it an existing name that has nothing to do with what it is you're doing. Have some respect. See respect. There's no more respect. It applies to everything. There's no more respect in romance. There's no more respect in craft. There's laziness across the board. The more technology help us do things faster and better, the more incompetent we become. And we paralyze our mentality, our spirit, our body. Do something yourself. And be absolutely present as you do it. Look at it as a meditative act. And get really emotional and weird. Get angry. Get happy. Don't puke it at others and make them feel uncomfortable, but with yourself at least. And then with someone who jives with it. Because when you are yourself, you attract people who jive with it. Instead of trying to be something that you're not, creating a personality that you're not to fit this group or this person or these people or that place. Ace of Wands and Five of Pentacles. It's either the lifeboat that you catch now in the moment as it presents itself to you, but you have to show who you are, you have to show yourself, you have to be authentic so it would recognize you and offer itself to you. Or straight down. Namaste.